0 to 100. 3, 2, 1. Good morning everybody. We are back with a new point of view video review. This time of the 2020 KIA Stonic. Initially my plan was to review another car, but I think I'll review a lot of German cars in this channel. Today is time for a Korean car. This car is brand new, only got 22 kilometers on the clock, and I will show you what 23k in euros can buy you nowadays when you go to the Koreans. Space in the back is also not bad. It's B segment. Yeah, the car smells brand new, of course. Let's take you for a drive and I'll show you how the car behaves, how it sounds. And when I drive along, I'll give you my criticism, my positives and my negatives. Let's go. So let's take this car for a spin. We have a normal key, standard key. This car has 22 kilometers driven. This car has the 1 liter 3-cylinder engine with 99 horsepower. It's turbocharged. Consumption figures should be 5.2 liters on 100 kilometers on average. This car weighs 1,000 kilos, 1,080 kilos to be precise. And in combination with 100 horsepower, it's not very sluggish. The gearbox, I'm only driving the first couple of kilometers right now. The gearbox is it's sufficient. It's not very refined, but it's sufficient. But so far so good. It has onboard navigation, digital radio, cruise control. These gauges remind me a little bit of Volkswagen, to be honest. Nowadays in Holland we can only drive 100 kilometers an hour. after the clock of 7 we can drive 120 to 130 kilometers an hour. This is not the type of car I would drive to Germany to show you its real performance. This review is more to give you the impression of what you're buying for 23k. This car falls in the B segment, so it's kind of the same segment as my my Volkswagen Polo used to, and the Suzuki Swift. This has the body shape of an SUV, a small one, of course, in the B segment. SUVs are very popular for some kind of reason. I'm not I'm not a big fan, to be honest, but what I do like about the concept of this car is it's quite big for the B segment, and you're sitting a little bit higher, so your visibility is just it's outstanding. We're now driving 100 kilometers an hour, 2100 RPM. Let's see what happens if I put my foot down. It does respond, of course. It's not very dramatic, and you hear this diesel-y kind of sound, but that's just the 3-cylinder engine. They're just raw in nature. I had the same kind of remarks when I drove the Polo, and the Polo also had a 1-liter TSI engine, also 3 cylinders. T standing for turbo, so also turbocharged. This is the route that many manufacturers of cars already go for the last couple of years. Small displacement engines with a turbo. And apparently this has a GDI engine. I thought GDI comes from Mitsubishi, which is a Japanese brand, Kia being a Korean brand. I don't know if the looks are something for you, if you like these looks. I'm not a very big fan, but they do good. I mean, as a brand, Kia has grown over the years, definitely. And actually, to be honest, you buy quite a lot of car for the money you're spending. I mean, for 20k you buy a used Mercedes with quite some miles already on it. You can curse me for comparing the two, but value out of money, this car is quite good. And if you buy, let's say, a 10-year-old Mercedes, it doesn't necessarily mean you bought yourself a quality product, you know. Definitely you get the feeling it's more car than it actually is, but this is not bad. It's not bad. This could function as a second car for the wife, you know, pick up the kids, pick up the groceries. Not bad. It's not super quiet on the highway, so it's not insulated very well, but I'm sure this car is not designed for that. It's more of a lifestyle SUV, whatever that means, but that's what it is. Now let's hit the throttle again a little bit. This is pedal to the metal. As you can see, above 100 not a whole lot of things happen, but I will floor it later from a standstill again. Apart from the gearbox being a little bit, you know, not very refined, so shifting doesn't go very smooth. But maybe when I make a few more kilometers in this car, I'll get used to the gearbox, and I can show you how does it rev from a standstill. 1,080 kilos is not heavy at all, so it also means that the road tax for this car won't be expensive. 1,080 kilos is, I believe, out of my mind, the same weight that my old Polo, that was the same weight, I'm sure. is unbelievable. This car has almost driven 40 kilometers in its lifespan. I'm driving the first kilometers. It's nice. Here in Holland you put a car on a license plate after it's been bought. The owner bought the car 4 days ago, so it has a very new license plate. When I first got into the car, I'm not really used to 3 cylinders. I was thinking, is this a diesel? It's not. Again, the way forward is small displacement engines with a turbocharger, and only the people that do lots and lots of miles, they drive a diesel. Also a lot of company cars are now 1 liter 3 cylinders. Let's floor it a little bit, see what happens. Not impressive, but also not bad. We're on the way to my old hometown again. This time I brought the right equipment. I brought a GoPro instead of a cheap action cam. So hopefully we can document this journey a little bit better this time. Now let's use the gears again. Responsive. It's getting better, maybe because the gearbox is getting warmed up. The feel in the steering wheel is also not bad. Of course, it's not a sport car, so it's not razor sharp, but it'll do. Especially for where this car will be used, and that's in the city. Need to be a little bit light, need to be assisted. Ooh, I even smell a little bit burnt plastic. That's how new this car is. Now let's keep it moving. Oh yeah, when the turbo kicks in, it's not bad. There are actually a few ways to look at the engines like this. They're either ruthlessly efficient or they're lacking in soul. Again, I'm also questioning the durability and longevity of 3-cylinder engines. Think about it, 1 liter, not even 1 liter, 3 cylinders and a turbo. 100 horsepower being squeezed from it. I think Volkswagen squeezes a little bit more out of it, but it has probably mostly to do with the compression of the turbo. These cars, you know, you just drive them 100,000, 150,000 kilometers within a lease contract, and then it's not your concern anymore. And maybe the guy who buys it after you, he has to deal with all the bills and all the stuff. I don't know. Time will tell. When you look at 3-cylinder diesel engines like the Blue Motion from Volkswagen, they are able to drive 400,000, 500,000 kilometers. But that's diesel technology. Gearbox is getting warmed up. Let's see what it does in the corners. not bad. Driving 80 kilometers here on these B roads. Engine is producing 2000 RPM. Yeah, it's efficient. As soon as the turbo comes in, it's going. Gearbox does remind me a little bit of the Suzuki Swift, to be honest. But it's getting warmed up now, so again, it's not very refined, but what do you expect? It's not like a BMW manual or something like that. These kind of cars are not being bought to be driven hard. But as soon as the turbo spools up, this car is going. I wouldn't say fly, but listen. Yes, it goes. When you hear the raw sound, and after a little bit after that the turbo comes on, listen. From a standstill to about 80, 100 kilometers an hour, it's good. It's not impressive, but it's also not bad. But when you're in the range for where the car is now, 5th gear, almost 100 kilometers, 2000 RPM, and you put your foot down, not a lot happens no more.